Ana Henriquez is with us today, and she's going to share how an afternoon of yard work changed her life. Ana is a wife, mother, real estate agent, and more importantly, she is a young woman who survived breast cancer, and she has many messages for our young women. Ana says if she can get it, anyone can get it, and you need to be aware and be your best advocate. When you subscribe to our show, you help us grow. Someone you know may need to hear this story, so please share with your family and friends. And consider supporting our mission. Your donation can help save the life of an uninsured woman. Let's talk about your breast. A different kind of podcast presented to you by The Rose, a breast center of excellence and a Texas treasure. You're going to hear frank discussions about tough topics. And you're going to learn why knowing about your breast could save your life. Thank you so much, Ana, for being with us here today. And I'm just delighted that you're going to be talking about what it's like to be a younger woman who's gone through the breast cancer experience. And I've been fascinated by your story ever since I heard it. So tell us a little bit about your diagnosis, how you found the cancer, and what was going on then.
Well, thank you, Dorothy, for having me. Mm-hmm. I love to share my story just because it sends a message to everyone, to every woman out there. I was diagnosed during COVID. Actually, it was November of 2020. I was 38 years old, so very young. It was tough. It was something that, unexpected. Mm-hmm. So it just it hit differently.
So how did you actually find you had a lump in your breast?
We were doing some yard work. My family, we were out, and, I went out with my son to go buy a bag of mulch, and I accidentally hit my breast. And when I hit my breast, it was pretty hard, the hit that I took.
But you were kind of showing off, showing your son that you could pick up that bag of mulch. Yeah, I love that part of it.
I was being a little tough, a little batty. But, I hit myself, and, I was like, oh, my God, that hurt. And once I got, back to the house, I was like, well, that was painful. Let me keep an eye on it. The next day, a couple of days later, I started touching myself just because of the hit that I took. Mm-hmm. And there was a lump. And I was like, okay, this is weird. I told my husband to touch it and see if it felt, what I felt. And he's like, yeah, that needs to be checked. You need to go in.
Now, did cancer come immediately to mind?
It didn't. Right there, it didn't. Throughout the days, I started thinking more. Mm-hmm. And, once I had that appointment, it was more real. And once I saw a change in my breast, it was more real. I was Googling, and it's bad to Google all the symptoms because that's when it hit, like this might be cancer.
Yeah, we always tell women, don't go Google, but everybody does. I would, it's human nature to try and find out what's going on.
Exactly. Yes.
So you were diagnosed, and it's a definite now. It's breast cancer.
Yes.
But you were uninsured.
Correct. They told me it is breast cancer, and I was devastated, of course. That day, I got in my car and I cried, and I got home and I cried even more. It was just, why? Like, I know every cancer patient asks the question, like, yes. Why me? And it's hard. That part, I believe, was the hardest part for me, the diagnosis and getting through it and learning to accept it.
Yes. Yes, during COVID, was your husband allowed to go with you, or
no?
You were mostly alone.
Yeah. Everything. Throughout the treatment, he wasn't allowed to go. Yeah. He would just drop me off, pick me up. That was it. And yes, I was uninsured, back to your question. So I was just, at the beginning, I was just trying to find my way to, because it was so much being diagnosed and then being uninsured. It was just like, how am I going to do this? How is this going to work for me? And trying to find somebody that could help me, or some type of foundation.
So how did you find out about the rose?
I did so much research online, and it's just so weird how at that at that time I was not getting to the rose at all. So I would go to there was an address that it sent me to, and I went there, and I believe it was a hospital. So I went to go ask how can I get insured? Is there a foundation that can help me? What can I do? So that's when they directed me to the rose. Yes. So thankfully, by the grace of God, I came here, and I mean, y'all guided me through the whole insurance process.
And this was like through the state program, right?
Yes. So, I couldn't have done it without the rose. I don't know what I would have done, but it was tough. Just being COVID, my diagnosis, and being uninsured, it was bad. It was, I didn't know a way to get through anything, and I was trying my best, and I'm so thankful for the rose to have been there for me.
And so the program that you're talking about is our patient navigation program. And some of our listeners don't know about that, but it is a program that helps the uninsured woman get into treatment. And like you said, there's not a lot of programs out there. There's not a lot of foundations. Medical care is very, very expensive.
Exactly.
And we are so proud of our navigators. But did they help you with understanding what was going on with you?
They did. And, once I got with the insurance and everything, it made my life a little bit easier on that aspect. They did help me, and they had classes to come in with other young women like me. And I think at that time, I was just I wanted my own space. I wanted just to get through it and just block off everything. But y'all do have that program where, you can talk to other women just like me and go through that phase and get more information as well. So that was very helpful as well.
Were you able to talk to your husband easily about what was happening to you?
Yes, he was a big support. He actually went bald for me.
Oh.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, so that part was really hard for me too, just because I knew I was eventually going to have to cut my hair, and I was going to lose it all. But I just didn't want to do it yet. I was procrastinating on doing it. And there was the point where, the day before my first haircut, I was like, I'm just going to go get my haircut. I was my hair was falling like crazy. So I had to get it done. This was between my first and second chemo. So it was already falling out. But I thought I was Wonder Woman, of course, that it wasn't going to fall out and it wasn't going to happen to me, just like breast cancer. I thought it wasn't going to happen to me. But it did. It fell off. And I actually have a picture where, I got out of the shower before my haircut, and my hair's in a big tangle, like a big ball of tangle. And I was just so overwhelmed. And I am like, oh my God. I was about to cry in that phase, and I was just like, okay, well, let me just get to my hairstylist, and she can shop it off. So I went, and she's like, oh my God, what happened? And it was just, now it's just funny because you see, I have that picture where my hair is just in a big ball of tangle. And she went and she cut it and she did her thing, and it looked really nice. It looked beautiful, the haircut that she gave me. But a couple of days later, I shaved it off because it as it was falling, I couldn't keep it.
So, who helped you with that?
My husband.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my husband. There was a day where I'm like, let's do it. And at that point already, I had already accepted that I was going to lose it. I had already accepted my diagnosis. So I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this. And
so many survivors have told me that that day of realizing the hair is going to go is almost as hard as the diagnosis day.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I tried wearing wigs. Maybe I tried one time. And I'm like, no, this is not for me. I would just wear wraps. I would just wear cute wraps or little hats or caps. And that was me. Like, that was the real me. I didn't want to hide myself from my reality.
And how did your children handle all of this?
My little one, he would always hug me, kiss my little bald head. And the other ones, they accepted it, They knew it was going to happen. We sat down, and my husband sat down and talked to them. He probably thought it was just easier for him to do it than me to do it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they sat down, and he talked to them, and he told them what was going to happen, what to expect, and pretty much to make my life easier.
Oh, yeah.
Just because, that whole process was going to be just, bad. It was going to be, a tough chapter in my life, pretty much.
So what were you most afraid of during that time?
Of course, what every woman thinks of not making it.
Right.
Of...
And your children are how old then?
Well, he's, I think my little one was 3 at that time, or 4. Yeah, 4. He was 4, so he was the little one. So I would never talk to them of my anxiety or my, of me being scared. I always put a tough face on. Never did I let them, see the real me. Or I think never did I tell anybody how, to the world I was okay. I was going through my battles inside me.
That's hard to do.
It is. It is. And I would cry, of course, on my own. And I would ask God, every time. And I knew I had to stop saying, why me, why me? I knew I had to stop saying that. And I got to a point where I was okay with it. I understood that if he gave me this battle was because he knew I could win it.
That is huge.
Yes.
Yes.
And throughout my whole diagnosis, I kept being me. I kept working.
And you're a realtor.
I am, yes. Those were actually my best years of real estate. Yes, during COVID. I was closing one home after another, and I was doing that thing, Even throughout everything. I would get up and I would head out. I would do my workouts. I'll go to the gym, get home, get ready, go to work. And I wouldn't stay home. I just felt like I had to be me, and I still had to keep going. And I wasn't going to let cancer win.
So, Ana, do you think being Hispanic made any difference in how you understood cancer or how you handled it? Or did anyone in your community seem extra concerned? Or we always hear different stories. It doesn't matter what community, but there's so many myths and so many misunderstandings. And then there's this is how I did it. Did you have a lot of that?
So, in the Hispanic community, it's not in my family, it's not very common that one of our family members has cancer.
Right.
So, it took everybody by surprise. And it's just that, with Hispanics, we're scared of, getting diagnosed with something like that, with an illness like that, because we procrastinate. We don't do our yearly exams. We don't do our checkups. So I feel like being Hispanic maybe did have, it did make a difference on the way, because whenever I was diagnosed and I was 38, I had no idea. I wouldn't hear about cancer. So I had no idea that this could happen to me.
Right.
I mean, I knew about cancer. I never thought, you never think. And, just with Hispanics, we really don't get, now I've seen more Hispanic women, of course, being diagnosed. Yeah. But I feel like it's a lack of us, going out there and getting checked, and even us getting ourselves checked.
Right. And listen, I have to tell you, that's not just Hispanics. That is being a woman. I mean, you wouldn't let your child not have their checkups. But if it comes to you, you go, maybe I won't do it this year, or, things get in the way. And it's always that thing of taking care of everybody else, doing what we have to, and putting ourselves last. That's a big message that we try to tell women. This is not a time to put yourself last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now that I see it, of course, I'm like, I wish I could have done this differently. But being the way I found it, I really thank God. I know it was a miracle, because I wasn't getting checked.
Right. You weren't doing your monthly checks or any of that by yourself. Yep. So, yeah, that was a miracle.
Yeah, and with life, just work and everything, you don't check yourself. So it's not there like as whenever you're a kid that you're getting checked up.
So how long were you in treatment?
So I believe it was a whole year. I did chemo, and I did chemo for 6 months. I did one of the toughest chemos that is called the Red Devil, and that's tough. So that was 4 treatments of that. And after that, it was the rest. After that, I finished chemo, then I went into radiation. I got radiation, and, then I went to surgeries and deep flap. So it was...
That's a healing process.
Oh, wow, yes.
Yes.
I think out of everything, the first chemos are tough. Just because your body doesn't know what to expect from all the medicine.
Well, it's an invasion anywhere you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are tough.
Yeah, so, and, getting a deep flap, it's a big decision, getting a double mastectomy and getting your deep flap.
Because this was really only in one breast?
It was only one breast on my left, yes.
But it was a good decision, or you felt like it was a good decision to do?
I wanted to avoid, yes, not getting it on my other breast.
Right.
So I went for a double mastectomy, which, I took out both of my breasts, and we did expanders. So when we did expanders, I got an infection on my radiated breast. So that also was another hit. I had to go get it out, and now it was just like, okay, I don't have my breast, but I have expanders. Now I have to get this one out. So, that it's taking away your womanhood with already getting your breast out. And, they gave me 2 options. Either I could do implants, or I could do a deep flap, which is your own fat.
Your own fat, yes.
Which I went.
Abdomen area. Yeah.
Exactly. Doing your abdomen and putting it in your breast, and just using your own your own tissue, which I thought it was a better choice for me. I didn't want to do implants just because I had already gotten an infection on. Yeah. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have a foreign item in my body.
Which is very, very common, the infections and the other things. And I think that's why I appreciate so much our guest being so honest about here's what really happens, when you're going through treatment. A lot of women are totally unprepared, of course. They've never had that. But I think hearing that someone else had to deal with it. So, Anna, how did you say goodbye to your breast?
I was ready. I felt like, okay, you try to kill me, so this is it. I didn't really have a party because I know some survivors do have like a little party for them. But I was ready to just let go. And it was tough, like waking up and seeing yourself without them. It was tough. I did cry because I told my husband, I'm not the same. And, he motivated me. He's like, no, you're perfect. You did this. This is what needs to be done. So it doesn't make a difference on how I see you.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like he was a really strong support system for you. Did you ever worry about him?
And
what he might be going through, what he might be thinking?
I did. I told him that he really, I understood if he wanted to, drop the towel. But he's like, no, I'm going to support you.
That's a hard conversation to have.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, because it's, he doesn't really talk much about his emotions, but I knew just seeing how I looked was not very, appealing. But he's like, no, we're in this together and we're going to make it. So big
comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
He was.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole, treatment, he was.
From start to finish.
Yes.
As a younger patient, and a really younger patients, this is different. It's not, we don't expect it. Do you feel like your physicians treated you any differently than they might have an older patient?
They did really good. I loved all my physicians. My oncologists, the whole, hospital team. Mm-hmm. They were really great.
Did they help you with alleviating some of your fears? And
yeah, they said this is more common because now you're seeing younger women get diagnosed. I mean, even in 28, even so they did, they did alleviate me with some of that.
Right. And I know I know that you have a message for young women, but what would be the most important thing that you would want any young woman to know that's facing this?
Just to pay attention to your body, to check yourself. Life is busy as it is, but you have to pay attention to your body. That's my biggest message because cancer had been with me for a while. And, as my doctor said, it's probably been 2 years that you've had it.
Ooh.
I was diagnosed with stage 3.
Ooh.
So it had been there. And I hadn't paid attention to myself. I hadn't checked myself.
Which was not uncommon. You're young. You're invincible. I mean, you have other things happening in your life, right? Superwoman. I mean, that is not that's our normal way of being. And you had so many other responsibilities. Have your priorities shifted any since you're now how many years out?
So that happened in 2020. So yeah, 4 years.
Yeah. And has your priorities changed? Have you found yourself looking differently at life? Or
Definitely. I live life more. I enjoy life more. Before I was skeptical and I would think twice of going on a trip, and now it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see the world, and life is not promised. And a blink of an eye, your whole life can change, as it did to me. So now I want to enjoy. I enjoy my kids more. I spend time more with my kids.
And you find yourself still working, though?
I do, yes.
But it's not your whole life.
Correct.
Right.
I don't, I don't say, you know what, no, I can't go on a trip. I say, you know what, let me work it with my work schedule and let's go.
Yeah. So many people work their time off around their work schedule, and it really could be the other way around. Here's my time off and my time out of here, and we'll make the work schedule work.
Yes, and luckily I'm in real estate, so I can do that.
Right.
I have that opportunity to work it with my schedule.
But you still have to be there, and you still have to show up, or you don't sell any houses.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't make money.
No.
Yes.
No, and that's so important.
Yes.
I think having the kind of work that you have where you had to be out and you had to be in front of people may have been a blessing, because you, like you said, you had to put on your tough face.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And, clients that, repeatedly clients that I had, now would see me with a scarf in my face, in my head. And it was, like, what happened? And, and they would always motivate me too. So my clients understood.
What was the best thing they said to you?
You're strong. You can beat this and more.
So many times people don't know what to say, but those are important words. Yes. And you're still under surveillance. I mean, you still have regular testing.
Checkups. Yes.
Every 6 months now? Or you okay.
Every 6 months, yes, I am. They did give me 5 years. So after 5 years, I'm on the clear.
You're almost there.
I know.
Yeah. And are you anxious anytime you go for your follow-up?
Not. I don't want to. I try to stay positive, and I'm staying positive.
Yes.
Because I see it as, if God gave me another opportunity at life, then He did it for a reason.
Oh. That's such a good message, Anna.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for being so candid and sharing your story. I know there's going to be other women that hear this that are going to be motivated just to keep going.
Yes. Thank you, Dorothy. And, like what I tell every woman, just keep going. It's going to all pass. You think that life is still at that point of your diagnosis throughout treatment, but 4 years later, you'll look back and it's going to be gone.
Cancer did not define you. You weren't going to be always dealing with that cancer. Yes, that is so important. Correct. So important here. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on Let's Talk About Your Breasts. This podcast is produced by Speak Podcasting and brought to you by The Rose. Visit therose.org to learn more about our organization. Subscribe to our podcast, share episodes with friends, and join the conversation on social media using hashtag Let's Talk About Your Breasts. We welcome your feedback and suggestions. Consider supporting The Rose. Your gift can make the difference to a person in need. And remember, self-care is not selfish. It's essential.